Today we're going to dive into a story from the Olympic Games that's about, well, it's about so much more than just sports. It's a tale of genius, immense pressure, and a single desperate act that sent shockwaves through the Cold War.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? This is the central question of this whole story. It's about what happens when the weight of a nation, of an ideology, and really a lifetime of ambition all comes to rest on one person's shoulders.
Okay, so to really get what happened here, we've got to set the stage. This wasn't just your average athletic competition. No, this was a full-blown political showdown.
Yeah, back in '76, the Olympics were basically a proxy war between the East and the West. Every single gold medal wasn't just a personal victory. It was seen as proof that your political system was superior. So the pressure on these athletes, it was just unbelievable.
And right into the middle of all this walks Boris Onishchenko. I mean, this guy was the Soviet ideal. He was so famous, they called him Boris the Red. He was a decorated champion, a man with this unflappable calm. His reputation was, well, it was flawless. He wasn't just an athlete, you see. He was a living symbol of Soviet strength and discipline.
And get this, Onishchenko competed in one of the most demanding events you can possibly imagine. An event that was literally designed to find the perfect soldier.
I mean, just look at this list. The modern pentathlon is an incredible test of versatility. You have to master 5 completely different disciplines, from the elegance and strategy of fencing to the raw endurance of a 4,000-meter cross-country run. It's a brutal event, and Onishchenko, he was one of its masters.
But here's the thing. In Montreal, he was 38 years old, and in the world of elite athletics, that's getting up there. This was widely seen as his last real chance for the one prize that had always slipped through his fingers: individual Olympic gold.
And this was the real issue. The expectation wasn't just to compete, it was to dominate. For the Soviet system, for his coaches, and for Onishchenko himself, anything less than first place was considered a total failure. The weight of that expectation was just crushing. So often, the whole pentathlon comes down to the fencing event. It's this marathon of precision and nerve. And it's right here, in the quiet tension of the fencing hall, that our story takes a very strange and pretty unsettling turn.
You know, fencing at this level is just as much a mental battle as it is a physical one. It's like high-speed chess. Each athlete fences every other competitor in these quick, one-hit bouts. It's absolutely exhausting, and the integrity of the whole thing relies on technology that everyone believed was completely impartial. So here's how it works. The tip of the sword, the épée, is basically a button. When it's pressed with enough force on a target, it completes an electrical circuit which triggers a light and a buzzer. A point is scored. It's a simple, reliable system built entirely on trust.
As Onishchenko began his matches, his opponents, especially the British team who knew him well, started noticing something was off. He was scoring points with what seemed like impossible speed. His timing was almost supernatural.
And this is where things got really weird. The scoring machine would buzz, signaling a hit for Onishchenko, even when his opponents could clearly see his blade was nowhere near them. It was like there was a ghost in the machine manipulating the score. The respect his rivals had for him began to curdle into suspicion. Well, that suspicion couldn't just hang in the air forever. The breaking point came during a pivotal match, leading to one of the most dramatic discoveries in the history of the Olympic Games. The British captain, Jeremy Fox, was certain Onishchenko's épée hadn't touched him, but the buzzer went off anyway. So he stopped the bout and lodged a formal protest, which is a very serious accusation in the world of fencing. He demanded the judges examine his opponent's weapon right then and there.
At first, the weapon seemed totally normal, but one official, as he was handling it, felt something odd. A tiny, almost imperceptible inconsistency under the leather of the grip. With everyone watching, he held the grip and squeezed that one spot. Bzzz! The scoring machine lit up, without the tip touching anything at all. The ghost in the machine had just been found.
And the cheat itself was surprisingly simple, almost crude. Onishchenko had installed a hidden button inside the grip, connected by some rough wiring. This allowed him to complete the electrical circuit just by squeezing his palm, registering a point whenever he wanted. He didn't need to hit his opponent, he just needed to press a secret switch.
The discovery of that device was, well, it was catastrophic. The fallout was immediate, it was total, and it destroyed not just a competition, but a life.
The collapse was swift and it was brutal. Onishchenko was disqualified, obviously, but then his entire team, who were favorites for the gold, they were also disqualified and sent home. Back in Moscow, the punishment was even more severe. He was publicly shamed, stripped of his military rank and sporting honors, fined and banned from sports for the rest of his life.
So what became of the man who was once the face of a sporting empire? His fate speaks volumes about the system that he represented.
The contrast was just absolute. He went from being Boris the Red, a national hero and a symbol of Soviet power, to becoming a non-person. The state that had built him up completely erased him. The three-time world champion returned to his hometown of Kyiv and became a taxi driver.
And that's really the crucial point here. This isn't just a simple story of cheating. It's about the unbearable pressure of a system that equated winning on the field with national superiority, driving a brilliant but desperate man to an act that would undo his entire legacy. In the end, Onishchenko's story leaves us with this really tough question. Was he a villain, or was he also a victim of a system that created the perfect conditions for his downfall? It forces us to think about the true cost of winning, when failure is simply not an option.